Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from simpleprogrammer.com. So I just finished my workout and I was thinking about something when I was lifting today. I actually listened to an audiobook, which I'll do a review on later, that was talking about this concept. But what I was thinking about was this idea of what I'll say is like, let the purification process happen. So what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, a lot of shit happens in life, good, bad, right? All kinds of things that are beyond your control, some of them that are within your control, but essentially like life is happening, right? All these things, and you don't have, it's only an illusion to think that you've got control over these things, really. And sometimes, stuff happens that you don't want, right? And you go through some difficult things and, life is hard, right? There's pain, there's problems, there's losses, there's things that happen that you don't want to happen, right? I think you get what I'm saying here. But what if instead of thinking of those things as good or bad, or things you want versus things you don't want, what if you think of the whole thing, everything that's going on, as a purification process, as a process that's happening that is essentially purifying your soul? And if you know what I mean by this, what I'm talking about is like, it's not just the trials, that's just not just the tribulations that you go through, although those things usually can create the most growth. And when situations happen, right, you've essentially got two choices, especially when I'm talking bad things happen, when something happens that you don't want to happen, that you perceive to cause you harm. You either allow it, you either accept the loss and you call it a loss, right? I did this video a while back about there's no such thing as loss. You can check out that video. And in that, I'm essentially saying the same thing I'm saying here, just in a different way. Because in that video, I talked about the idea that you don't have to see anything as a loss. You can see everything as a gain. It's the same thing here. This is just a different mirror, a different window, a different way to look at it, which is to see everything as a purification process. All of those things, right? You like I said, you have the one choice of seeing it as a loss, or the second choice of seeing it as growth, as an opportunity, as something that is happening to you, that's meant to happen in order for you to mature and grow, for not just you, but your soul to mature and grow, to really become the person who you're meant to become. And like I said, most people don't live up to that potential. They don't actually take those experiences in life, and they don't actually end up getting the benefit out of them. So, and when you don't, I'll tell you what happens, because this pattern, right? We've all been there. You've seen this pattern. You've been stuck in this pattern. I've been stuck in this pattern, right? When you don't learn the lesson, when it doesn't produce the growth in you, what happens, right? I'll wait a second. You answer this. Like, pause the video, okay? Honestly, like, pause the video and tell me what happens, because I know you're gonna know it, right? Think about this. When the shit happens, you don't learn the lesson, what happens? You get the lesson again, right? Is that, I think probably you could have guessed that if you didn't already, right? So what does that tell you, right? It's, in order to progress, right? Just like a video game. You play a video game, you don't go to the next level until you beat the current one. You gotta get to the end, right? And so if you don't, and you die, and you lose, or you fail, what do? You repeat the level over and over again until you get there, right? That's how it works. So it's the same thing, right, in life. And so instead of thinking of things that you want or don't want, again, and this is where it really comes down to, right, if you're still following me here, is that this is really the concept that I want you to get, is that instead of thinking of things in life as what you do want and you don't want, because so much of life we waste time going after what we want. Now again, I'm not saying you shouldn't have a motive, I'm not saying you shouldn't have drive, and that you shouldn't go and get to what you want. What I'm saying is that instead of putting so much emphasis on what you want, right, what you want out of life, instead, what if you took everything that came to you, everything, good or bad, you didn't even put a judgment on it, you just said, whatever it is, it's an experience, it's a purification process, it's part of the growth that I'm going to have as a human being. And my goal is not to try and determine what the script is. I don't want to force the hand. What I want to be dealt to me is the cards that I need right now, the things that are going to grow me in the ways that I need right now. So every time that you see something happen, right, good or bad, instead of saying, what's up? Instead of saying, you know, this is good or bad, like I said, we're getting into dead horse beating territory, I realize. But instead of saying that, you just say, hey, look, this is great. It's awesome, right? Because everything is great, because everything is awesome, because of everything that is happening in your life, right, is happening for that sole purpose of being a purification process for you in order for you to gain the experience so that you can grow from the experience. Then what does that mean? That means that every single thing that's happening is technically good, right? That there's a benefit, and that you want it to happen exactly the way that it did. And see, that's where you start to get into this point of what's called acceptance. And when you get to the point where you have acceptance in life and you say, regardless of what happens, good or bad, regardless of what the circumstance is, it's good, right? Because it's life, because it's what's happening, because it's what was laid out for me, and I can grow from that. That's when you stop attaching yourself to outcomes. And when you stop attaching yourself to outcomes, all of a sudden, amazing things happen. All of a sudden, the outcomes start coming, right? Now, you shouldn't do it for that reason, but I'm just saying, it's kind of ironic, it's kind of a contradiction, if you think about it, the way that it works that way. So.
Thanks, man. I look good, huh? Right?
What's up? Yeah.
I look good, huh?
All right, man. How you doing?
Let me see. Let me see. Let me
All
see.
right,
Let me see how you look.
Oh, you can't. All right.
Let me see. Let me see.
Yeah, see, I got it. It's going this way.
No, the other way.
Yeah.
Was it me or you?
This is you. Yeah, this is you.
Why would you do that?
Huh?
Why would you do that?
I'm feeling me walking down.
Oh,
See,
I
this
think
is
you were
me.
filming
No.
Oh,
No, when I'm doing this way, I'm filming me.
No, I'm handsome.
Yeah. No, you're a handsome guy. Yeah. See, now I'm filming you.
All right.
But yeah, all right, man. So anyway, that's all I got for you today. So if you like this video, make sure you click that subscribe button below. Click the bell so you don't miss any videos. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.